something that happened today. I very much believe that what happens on the day that I'm going to speak is a siman to everybody else. And with this we'll end. So, about 4 weeks ago, maybe 5 weeks ago, I got a phone call that, could I speak to a woman? Could this person give my number to this lady who has a 3.5-year-old girl? Her name is Penina Bas Yafa. You should all daven for her. And this little girl was getting stomach aches and fever and stomach aches and fever. And finally she took her to the doctor and they did a blood test. Her cat was totally crazy. And her diagnosis was leukemia. 3.5-year-old, beautiful little blonde kid with these big eyes. So this lady asked, I said, sure, give her my number. And this lady called me. She said, Rabbi Weillerstein, I need chizuk. This is my daughter, my 3.5-year-old. She's 3.5. She didn't smoke cigarettes. All the excuses they give for cancer. She's 3.5. There's no excuse for this. You have to give me chizuk. You have to give her chizuk. I said, okay, come over. This little kid walks in. Beautiful, beautiful. Little 3.5-year-old Jewish girl with blonde hair, these big eyes, a little squeaky voice. Hi, Rabbi Weillerstein. I'm like, hi, Paulette. I call her Paulette or Penina. So you're not feeling well? No, I'm not feeling well, Rabbi Weillerstein. And her mother's like, could you give us some chizuk? It happens to be that the Tisha Rebbe sent me a few hays, silver hays, gebenchte hays they're called, blessed by the Tisha Rebbe. I said, how am I going to give this kid chizuk? Just by words? Let me give her something. I went upstairs to my room, I had one of these gebenchte hays, and I came downstairs and I said, Paulette, you see this hay? I want you to put this on your necklace, and for the rest of your life, I don't want you to ever take it off. And she said, what's the hay for? And I said, HaShem. So she put it on. And I want to tell you about the phone call I got today. So she took a whole series of chemo. And her mother called me up today. She said, Rabbi Weillerstein, I have to tell you what happened. They put a port in her shoulder. It's an operation. So they could put the chemo through the port. So they had to put her under. So this little squeaky kid was always very sweet. So the nurse said, listen, we have to take everything off. We have to take your necklace off. She said, my daughter began to scream. They never heard her scream. She's screaming, you can't take my necklace off. So like, why can't we take your necklace off? Because Rabbi Weillerstein gave me this hay. Now these are not Jewish women. They're like, okay, but we're just going to take it off for the operation and then we'll put it back on. She's like, you can't touch it. No one's allowed to touch it. Meanwhile, her mother told me that every time she's in pain from the chemo, she would hold the hay and she would say, HaShem, take away my pain. Mikam Yisrael, 3.5-year-old girl. She said every time she was in pain, HaShem, take away my pain. We need to feel the same way, everyone here. She could always hold on to HaShem and say, HaShem, take away my pain. But the story's not over. So the nurse realized she's not getting that hay off this kid's neck. So they waited till the anesthesiologist put her out. The mother told me this today. And they took the hay and they put it in a little plastic bag next to her head while they did the operation. When they finished doing the operation, they immediately put the hay back around her neck because they were scared if she would wake up and find out that they took that hay off, they'd have to pay for it. So she wakes up and the first thing she looks at is to see if her hay is still there. She said to me, Rabbi Weillerstein, I want to thank HaShem for giving me my daughter back. But she also told me that the test came back today. There is not one cell of leukemia in her body left. Hashivenu Hashem elecha v'nashuva chadish yimenu kikedem. Don't let go of that hay. Don't let go of Hashem ever. And next year, we'll be in the Beis HaMikdash. Thank you.